Blessed ones of the nations of the world. This is your brother Dan Moses or say our Sakodi of TRC, Ghana, coming to you this 25th of February 2022, Friday, from the land of America with the continuation of our exposés, testimony, new world disorder, special series, humanity, they are coming after our souls. This is going to be part 85. There'll be part 86, part 87, part 88. And then the 89 is going to be what to do. So, humanity and the nations of the world, before we begin, we want to welcome each other by saying, Akwaba, Akwaba, Allen, Sahalen, Shagitam, welcome. Nganjoni, bem-vindo. You are welcome. Kuso, the world to San Senor, Okukulaba, Mauya, Mingalaba, Boye, Malamo, Karibu, Ekabo, no, o Sanu, Bezua, Enkwande Ina, Mitash, Duboro, Pezalovat, Bine I Vinit, Barigalo Tibita Iche, Ayubon, Dobredoya, Velkommen, Estan, Hozut, Walang Adoman, Bienvenue, Bienvenido, Manamaste, Swagitam, Kush, Amadit, Baruch, Haba, Marhaba, Wanyong Hamida, Wanying Nyejeko, Anyamime Nyejeko, Wezolo, Novio, Mia Wezo, Akwaba to the program, Testimony New World Disorder. Testimony New World Disorder. You know, I know, we know that is the program through which we get to know what is happening to Ghana, America, humanity, and the nations of the world in these times of global deception, delusion, and willful lies. Willful lies that are made up by some of the very people that we trust to be there for humanity and the nations of the world. Yet, they have chosen to be the very people that are dealing with us by willful lies, deception, delusion, treacherously, having brought humanity and the nations of the world into this total global helplessness. But blessed ones, we are not moved in a sense that all that we are seeing on the nations of the world, whichever part of the world you are, what you are facing, whatever is happening in Russia, whatever is happening in Ukraine, whatever we are seeing, the repression, suppression of humanity, they are all an iota, the blowing winds of the ulterior agenda that is being pursued by the soul takers. Their ulterior agenda is to come after your soul, my soul, the souls of humanity and the nations of the world. Therefore, humanity is in the moment of decision. You are in a moment of decision that you need to make a decision as to who you would give your soul over to rule. Whether you allow the soul takers to take over your soul to lead you to damnation, or you would give your soul over to the maker of life, the creator of your soul, to take ownership and lead you to eternity. Blessed ones, my soul belongs to Christ Jesus, my Lord. And I have confidence in Him that I have another world in view. Blessed ones of the nations of the world, Akwaba to the program, Testimony New World Disorder. Humanity and the nations of the world, in this part 85. Let me say this, I beseech us to still continue to admonish us to view these exposés, patronize it from part 1, part 2, part 3, chronologically down to 85. This is 85. It shall have 86 today, 87, 88, and 89 shall be what to do. So in this part 85, we shall challenge you to have a mindset that irrespective of where you are, irrespective of your situation, whether you are in Israel, whether you are in Palestine, you are in Ukraine, you are in Russia, you are in Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa, Ghana, wherever you are, this very part is to challenge you to have the mindset of resilience, mindset of fortitude, like Russia. You didn't hear me. I said like Russia, that irrespective of all that comes at you, you turn your world, your problems or your challenges around, and you turn your problems and your challenges into opportunity, and you surge forward. This is what this part is going to challenge you to do. Humanity and the nations of the world. Akwa to the program, testimony, evil or disorder. I know that you have given your mind over to the creator of your soul. I have given my mind to Christ Jesus my Lord. Therefore, I have the mind of Christ and the redeemed mind, the regenerated mind. Oh, there is no limit as to what it can do. There is no limit as to the tapping into the heavens, into God, to bring out of God, to think and bring out of God the unimaginable, the unthinkable. So I would want to bring this that we are going to share, that with your regenerated mind, redeemed mind, think through it and begin to possess the fortitude, resilient heart of China and surge on. Blessed ones of the nation. This is to challenge us to think through what we are receiving. We are going to receive now. Do not be moved. Don't be shaken by what is going on in your nation, in Russia and in China, and in Russia, in Ukraine. Don't be moved. Now, get this. Um, States, political stakes, diplomatic and religious stakes in America, and Nana Addo Akufo and his cronies took over this undercover agent's mind and totally disregarded the house of God to set me up that they may destroy me. However, we have known that God had been my help and they have not succeeded in destroying my life, in killing me as they intended. Therefore, what these forces have pursued with the undercover agent is to engage in heinous atrocities, evils, and cowardly secret killing of my precious people of Ghana. And they have done it to the point of bringing the whole of the human race to an edge of total chaos and destruction. Their evil has cost the life of the great diplomat of all time, Dr. Busumuru Kofi Annan. It cost the life of His Excellency John Evans Fifi Atabios. It cost the life of His Excellency Pakwesi Emisa Atta. It, it has cost the life of my precious people. It cost the life of my own Reverend Dr. David Nabemado. It cost the life of young and old of Ghana, celebrities, nobles, and the ordinary of Ghana. We have been killed for a global game in, in, in appeasing this US undercover agent. They have pursued the evil to the point of the Haitian president losing his life. In fact, that the evil was pursued to the point of the undercover agent herself, her own father, the evils costing her father's life. Ghana, humanity, and the nations of the world. The most dangerous aspect of the whole crimes. The crimes drove humanity to the cliff of tipping into falling off the cliff. When in 2019, the US undercover agent and the coward secret killers, Nana Addo Akufo, stakes in America, decided to kill my family members one after the other. Why? Because they must take every every love between me for my families in Ghana, get me separated from my family, because she is the only daughter of her father and mother, and her crimes has caused the life of the father. So she is now left with her aged mother, and she's left with her aged mother. Ghana, humanity, and the nations of the world, and they are in the land of America. In order for the US government, the government of Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, for them to take ownership of me and give me to the undercover agent to own me as the wife, as the husband, whom she sought to kill and failed, they decided to kill my family members one after the other, that I would have no ties to Ghana anymore. Under 5 weeks, the two most prominent family members of mine, considering my father's side and my mother's side, the two most prominent family members, they targeted them and killed them using the health sector in 5 weeks. 5 weeks. Humanity and the nations of the world, Akwa to the program, Testimony, New World Disorder. This is to give you understanding as to where we are, what is happening in Russia, what is happening in Ukraine, what is happening in your nation. It is to give you understanding. Blessed ones, in 2019, I had come from the land of Ghana to America after my father had been killed. When I got to America, within 5 weeks, they killed my uncle as well. That heinous atrocity committed, because I had to approach the international authorities, US justice, international authorities, United Nations, International Criminal Court, letting them know the heinous atrocity that is being committed against me and against my family. Ghana, America, humanity, and the nations of the world, I tell you, I am totally hacked. I don't have to take any document to the Ghana Embassy or FBI or the Montgomery County Police for them to have a copy. So guess what? Mr. Who, the very great man, Mr. Who, Gabriel Jesus, and his cronies, states in America, diplomatic, political, religious, and Nana Addo Akufo-Addo's government, they orchestrated that they come out with an agenda which they called COVID. COVID. By that was, I'm talking about 2019, from September, October, November, December. We realized that that was when the world first started hearing of that coronavirus. Okay. But however, because they could not contain the shame of where the heinous crimes have gotten to, the killing of my family members, they orchestrated the agenda called coronavirus. Ghana, America, humanity, and the nations of the world. It was a nation called China which became their scapegoat. They had to climb on the back of China and divert attention from the heinous coward secret killing which has caused the life of the greatest diplomat of all. My president, my vice presidents, celebrities of Ghana, journalists, and they were covering up. They could not contain it anymore when the undercover agent took her evil to my family members, started killing them one after the other. They were getting exposed before the United Nations, International Criminal Court. What is this that they have done? What is this that these evil ones have done? So the agenda of coronavirus was orchestrated. Now, they had to climb on the back of a nation, China, and falsely accuse China that China, through his Wuhan lab, created that virus to trouble humanity and the nations. It was a willful, orchestrated agenda to divert the attention of humanity and the nations of the world from the 15 years of atrocities by this undercover agent, crimes that have endured under His Excellency George W. Bush, Barack Obama, His Excellency John Donald Trump. Humanity, the agenda was orchestrated. But however, you have heard Europe saying that, cautioning the world that there is a new world order, cautioning the world about. This was a new world order, an order. And when a new world order is issued, everyone is to comply by. Every nation must yield by. What you have to do is, every nation is trying to see how best they can overcome the challenge. China's face was put on the evil that China had created the virus. China could not say that this is a lie. This is a lie. An agenda by global states against humanity. You can't say that. No nation can stand against that. But all that has to be is everybody has to fight it and see how best, whether you would let it overcome you or you turn the problem around for your benefit. China was one of the nations of the world that that was able to that came out that created, that discovered, that was able to come out with Sinovac vaccine for her billions of people and other parts of the world, making sure that he is being a help to Africa and other nations of the world as much as China would. China did not let her face fall. China would not let her faith be shaken. China stood immovable and complied by the world order, which every nation is to comply by. China yielded like every other nation. China totally triumphed over her challenge, to the point that for the 2 years period, 2019, 2020, 2021, where all economies of the nations of the world were sinking, China, who became the scapegoat whose face was used for that global agenda, China rose out of her challenge, and guess what? China grew economically 6% growth within that time period when all nations' economies were sinking. The same nation which bore the pain of the nations of the world and of humanity, bore the reproach, stood, and when all were down, she was helping other nations with her Sinovac and was able to grow economically 6%. When all the economy of Nana Addo Akufo Addo into the ditch, the economy of Trump things. It was the issue of their money printing machine. Rakpatakum, 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 Trump, rakpatakum, and the Joe Biden took it. Rakpatakum, Joe. The printing of the money upon money. Still, the economy was sinking. Ghana, Humanity and the Nations Club, Akwaba to the program. Testimony, New World Disorder. Blessed ones. However, this coward secret killing continued. It never ceased until the coward secret killers took their killing to the killing of His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings in the year 2020. When I was in America and had to leave free America for my life to Ghana for the funeral of His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings. And I had to come back, and you see, I was back on June the 15th, 2021. June 15, 2021. But blessed ones of the nations of the world, irrespective of these global wicked forces, the harm they have done to the United Nations, the harm they have done to China, the harm they have done to Russia, the harm they have done to Ukraine, the harm they have done to Israel, the harm they have done to Palestine, the harm they have done to Africa, Asia, Australia, Europe, Canada, the entire human race. They never know to go back on their evil or to cease from it. So guess what? Mr. Who? Gabriel Isu, the World Health Organization boss, as we have known, they decided with the corporate terror groups, corporate terrorists who have been killing my people secretly. They colluded with the 7-Eleven company to seek to end my life on January the 17th, 2022. God help me. That totally backfired. It totally backfired. This was after they had orchestrated to use the company that I was working for, Exxon Company, to set me up for bomb and get me destroyed. Those evils were all reported to international authorities and to the US Justice Department, Humanity and the Nations of the World, Akwaba to the program, Testimony, New World Disorder. Blessed one, we have gotten to know from this very channel how the same evil minds, the pushers of this global agenda, the repressors of humanity, great man who, big man who, with the Exxon Company, went to the extent of making coronavirus positive results to cover up the enslavement, subhumanization, oppression, persecution against me on the job, to cover up for his national, a precious son of Ethiopia. We have heard that. Okay. And then we have also gotten to know how their next strategy have been, how they have damaged my arm. I'm doing everything possible to get treatment for, and then they using the medical field to seek to terrorize me further. Now, what they have done is they are seeking to damage my internal organs and use that to cover up the destruction of my internal organ, so they may cover up for the Exxon Company. all these unimaginable happenings, mind-blowing evils we have heard here. Ghana, humanity, and the nations of the world, we should not be surprised that amidst all this, there has been a willful intent, willful agenda, being that China overcame her challenges, turned it around into opportunities, to the blessing of other nations. They took it to Russia and started attacking, especially the US government. Because of this undercover agent. This time they cannot take it to China prevailed. So they took it to the back door of Russia. Constant attack on Russia from Russia, constantly. While they circumvent, they seek to sandwich Russia by infiltrating, taking over all Russia's neighbors, so that Russia will be isolated. Ghana, America, humanity, and the nations of the world. Akufo to the program testimony. We are getting some understanding, so we begin to think through what is happening to us, what we have seen going on in Ukraine. We are all thinking through. Blessed ones of the nations of the world. While Russia had been totally secluded, they are being cut off. He sees the US and the allies coming at him by all means. Mr. Neto, I salute. We are all thinking. We are all thinking. We are talking about truth and reality. How NATO is advancing towards Russia through Russia's neighbors. The only choice for China was to, and Ukraine has been the major bone of contention for years. And it was either Russia would have to watch on for him to be considered totally weak. We thought that you have stood like China and like all the superpowers. And when we have roared, we have roared. When we took it to China, China stood. And we have realized that he didn't use any weapon. Yet, he's immovable. So what would Russia do? Would Russia let the world take him for weak leg, feeble, weak? Or would Russia respond, take action to let the world know that no, Russia is not Iraq? That they took Iraq for granted, and yet the consequence thereof remain up to Russia. You can't take Russia for other nations that they have been bullied, and the consequence thereof rests with humanity up to now. So Russia had to make a decision, and we are hearing, we are all thinking through. We are hearing as from the 23rd of February that Russia has responded, and there is a battle between Russia and Ukraine. Ghana, from the book Occupied Till I Come, the noble people of Ukraine can testify that I am for Ukraine, I am for Russia, and I am not for bloodshed. Ghana, America, and the nations of the Akufo to the program Testimony New World. So I am sharing this with us, that we know that all that is happening are a diversion, whether what Russia suffered, China suffered, and China turned it around into opportunity, or what is happening between Ukraine and Russia. they are all a diversion of humanity's attention from what is happening to us. Hmm? So we need not worry or be distracted by all that is happening, but that we remain focused. The issue is heinous crimes have been committed against Ghana, against humanity. Coward secret killing have been made a global game. We demand accountability. That is it. No matter what is happening. So humanity, let's go back to Russia and Ukraine. Amidst all that we are hearing, I am not saying what we are hearing is what I'm also talking about. I'm not saying that there is war in Russia, between Russia and Ukraine. What we are hearing in the news, that is what we are all saying. Okay, that's what we are talking about. Now, in order for Russia to let the world know that you better listen to the African. He's telling you something. Russia. It's all about this African. And Putin, that you hear the US power blocks. It also has to do with this African. Russia beats up. He blew a whistle amidst what is happening when other nations, like many nations of the world, are complaining. We don't know this of Russia. Why would Russia? Russia made a statement that what is happening is an end to 8 years of culminated war. It has culminated from 8 years of war in Ukraine. What does that mean? That means that what is happening in Ukraine has a root. What is happening between Russia and Ukraine has the roots. Ghana, America, humanity, and the nations of the world are core to the program Testimony, New World Disorder. Why should China blow this whistle and draw humanity's attention to this? That 8 years ago, something was happening in Ukraine. Humanity. 8 years ago, that was Barack Obama was in office. It will fall around 2014 when I had come from Canada and I was being terrorized, and they have MH MH 370 Boeing 777 has disappeared. When all those have been used, and it's still the heinous crimes against humanity keep on popping up at the White House. Amidst all those, amidst that chaotic times, we saw one US politician who entered the land of Ukraine, took advantage of the political tumult, rivalry between the government in power and the opposition, mounted a political platform and was hopping, excited, jumping, inciting the Ukrainians that for war. You understand? Ghana and the nation. That was years ago. That is what His Excellency Putin was drawing the attention of the world to. Ghana, America, and the nations of the world are core to the program Testimony, New World Disorder. Why do we need to hear this? We need to hear it and know that the problem we face now, if we don't solve it today, it will grow. Any problem which is not solved grows. What was happening 8 years ago when warmongering sticks were taking advantage of the war of Ukraine, exploiting it to the point of a US politician Hmm? He was even he later became he became a presidential candidate for one of the major political parties in America. Name withheld. The name of the politician withheld. However, I know one thing. Though his name is withheld, I know that as we speak today, as it is this day, 25th of September 2022, that politician that troubled America, troubled Ukraine, troubled Russia, troubled United Nations, troubled who? Troubled Africa, troubled the nations of the world by exploiting the wounds of Ukraine, internal wounds between the president and opposition. That issue has now grown to what you are hearing in the news that it is now. Blessed ones of the nations of the world. Akwaba to the program. Testimony. New world disorder. Because political power is temporal, and men who take political power onto themselves and think that the people that through whom they ascend their throne or they weird onto themselves that political power are nothing but doormat that must be trampled on. They are waste. Waste product that must be used and be discarded. But before the eyes of the all-powerful God, it is not so. The true power belongs to the people and not to the ruler or the power possessor. Therefore, that political power that was so powerful in a human being and stood on the political stage of Ukraine, inciting lawlessness, inciting chaos, inciting what we are seeing today. That political power doesn't exist anymore in the universe. This is to tell you that even that politician is no longer alive. So why? Or do we seek power and seek it so much at the expense of the blood of innocent fellow humans? Blessed ones of the nations of the world. Mr. Gabriel Jesus has no doubt that the God of the African is God. Except for his grace and his word that the African has held to, the African would have been long dead. The entire human race has suffered these atrocities, which demands that Mr. Who should be executed. But we are not as diabolical and vindictive and wicked as some of the powerful that we know are. So he has his life. But all that we are seeing in Ghana, in Africa, in Europe, in Asia, in Australia, Canada, Russia, Ukraine, is that we'll be like China. Now we have seen the light. And it is freedom time. We take it. We are not begging for it. We are taking it because we know they will not give it to us if we beg for it. So give us back our liberty, which you have stolen. Take it back. Blessed ones of the nations of the world. Let's go to part 2 and continue. But understand that all that we are seeing happening, your nation, Ukraine, Russia, Palestine, Israel, the root cause of today's problem, Akufo Addo, the US government sticks within America. They undercover agent. They are our problems. Not Ukraine, not Russia, not China, not Africa, not Ghana, but Akufo Addo. God bless you. God bless my homeland, Ghana. Bye-bye. Let's go to the next episode.